Hi, this is Cristina Dam, and this is Liberate the podcast, where we educate, motivate, inspire, and liberate your consciousness. Hi there, welcome to another episode of Liberate the podcast. Today we are deep diving into vegan soul food. We have Veltree, that's their company, and Velvet and Tree with us today, and they're going to talk about their journey through veganism and creating some amazing restaurants that will soon be in LA too. And they started out in Charlotte, right? So your main restaurant's in Charlotte, but you're expanding and have plans for a huge expansion in many different cities around the United States, including Los Angeles.
Yeah.
So I'm really excited to hear about your journey, but also to hear about that soul perspective of food and how a lot of people don't realize how important food is for your mental health, your spiritual alignment, everything. Everything.
Yeah,
so
it's all connected. Yeah, definitely.
I would love to start by, each of you sharing a little bit about yourself. And you're also an amazing couple, too. I want to share that.
Thank you. We are. So I'm Tree of Veltree. And Velvet and I actually met in her restaurant that she had with her family in D.C.
Okay.
And so I had just became vegan. I've been vegan now for 8 years. At that time, I had just become vegan and, not really knowing how to cook and everything like that. So I went to her restaurant, we met, and the rest is history. And so we got together. We have a nonprofit as well. Not only our restaurants, we have a nonprofit called Vegan in the Hood, where we go to lower income communities and, help to build gardens and sustainable living. And I also have another nonprofit called Beautiful You, Yes You, which helps to build the self-esteem and self-worth of young girls and their mothers. And now they're brothers because they started coming to the classes too. So that's me in a nutshell. I mean, I'm from everywhere. A military brat, born in Germany, used to live in San Diego, and now I'm here.
Oh, wow. Beautiful.
Thank you.
All right. Well, okay, so the chef and the creator.
Chef.
Yeah, so you had a restaurant in D.C. too.
I did.
Was that a vegan restaurant?
It was totally vegan.
So have you been vegan for how long have you
I've been vegan just about 20 years.
20 years.
Yes.
And your family's vegan as well?
Not everyone. My sister and
Okay.
her family, my nieces and nephews are all vegan. My mom's vegan. But growing up, I was never a meat eater.
Okay.
Yeah, so my mom tells these stories about how I would eat dinner, but I would go to the bathroom like 5 or 6 times during the meal because what I would do was put the meat part of the meal into my pocket. I had to go to the bathroom and discard
down the toilet, but didn't want to get in
time.
trouble for not eating your plate.
Exactly. And so for me, once my sister became vegan, who she loved meat, and when she began to talk to me about being vegan, I was like, well, what is that? So once I found out, and
is this an older sister?
She's younger than I am.
Okay, younger than
Yes.
you. So she's kind of helping teach you a little bit. This is 20 years ago.
Absolutely.
And then from there, when you started hearing about it, you're like, oh, well, I don't even like meat.
I don't even like meat anyway. Maybe that's why. But so from that, I wanted to create. I was always a chef. I was head chef for Marriott for a number of years. I been head chef at exclusive prep schools in DC. But my sister was presenting me with something I'd never had before. 3 beautiful children that were coming out vegan. And so I wanted to be able to feed them. I wanted to be able to have fun with them. So, immediately I had to figure it out. And that's how it came.
It sounds like, being and loving food so much and then putting it all together, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And then saying, okay, well now I have even this other motivation.
Yes.
I'm going to learn how to cook all of these other new dishes with all these beautiful fruits and vegetables that are around.
Absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely.
I'm getting hungry. And so then your family and you opened your restaurant that you two met at.
Yes. Yes.
And so that was a vegan restaurant.
Yes.
Correct. And what was the theme or the focus of that food and that cuisine?
It was a little different than what I did. We actually had different themes every day.
Okay.
So it was different themes for 1 week, and then it was a 2-week switch out menu. So we had Italian Day, African Day, Jamaican Day, where we would do dishes from those continents and countries.
That's amazing.
Yeah, so that was kind of...
That's like a really good idea because, sometimes, but I mean, a lot of times people change up the menus and stuff in regular restaurants, but I mean, going particularly for those themes, it's like the patrons are just keep on coming back because there's going to be something new and interesting the next day or the next week.
Keep it interesting. Yeah.
Okay, so, and then you two get together and you start Veltree, yes. and this restaurant put together, and that's vegan soul food. So talk to us a little bit about it, and
So Veltree's in Charlotte, North Carolina. We are actually the only Black-owned vegan restaurant in Charlotte.
Really?
Yes. And so we came there. Actually, it happened, we always say by God, but on a whim, because we came there looking for food. We were visiting Charlotte because we were had some meetings. And I Googled soul food vegan and nothing came up. And I'm like, got to be kidding me. There has to be a soul food option here. Nothing came up. And so we decided shortly thereafter to move to Charlotte and open it. And so we did. We moved to Charlotte, and it's been amazing ever since.
Did you fall in love with the city, or was it just that, hey, there's a need here?
There's a need there. We haven't even been able to experience the city at this point, but it was just a need, and we said let's answer that need. So.
Wow. That's amazing because you weren't even living there. You go there visiting and you say, okay, there's a need.
Right.
I mean, that's like true entrepreneurship, right? Okay, there's a hole
and being
here.
Crazy a little bit too.
But honestly, in my experience, being around many different entrepreneurs and me myself, is it takes a little bit of crazy, right? You have to, you have to be able to just jump and say, you know what, I'm going to worry about the parachute later.
Exactly.
And you're stitching the parachute while you're falling.
Exactly.
And you're I hope I don't fall.
That's the truth. And it's faith. It's just having faith to know that if I take that one step, everything else is going to fall into place.
Yeah.
And it does, and even if you fall, get back up and keep going.
Yeah. And having that faith, right? Because, there's so many people out there, and I hope the people that are listening that, you get this idea, right? And that idea, and I love that you said act of God or act of faith, kind of thing like that. But that those ideas in my belief system are planted there. It's that union of alignment, and it's okay, this is here for you. Are you willing to take it?
Exactly.
And so many people say, oh no, I can't, or this, and then that little monkey mind comes in their head instead of saying, you know what? It's okay.
Yeah.
Because if something is planted into your mind or planted into that seed, if you take those steps, you will be supported because that supported idea was already a manifestation.
Exactly. That's what we believe as well. And there's a saying that says, feel the fear, but do it anyway.
Yeah.
We were scared to death. How are we going to do this? Move to Charlotte, up and move. But we did it. And look at the like you say, the manifestation of not only now we're going to have Charlotte, but we'll have LA, and then we'll have other cities as well, just because we took that step. And it's because we believe not only in ourselves, but our God that said, okay, do it, and I got your back. And so we did that.
Oh, amazing. And how long has it been open?
Not even a year yet. October.
October?
We opened in October.
And it's already gaining so much momentum,
We sell out just about every day.
It's supernatural, surely.
It's definitely.
Really is.
We haven't done any, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, go ahead.
We haven't done any advertisement, and so many celebrities come in and walk in. They find us. Anthony Hamilton has come in. What's the football player?
Cam Newton.
Cam Newton is, his manager comes in all the time for him, and then some other football players, and then Nick Cannon came in. So it's just it's just that manifestation. It's you do it, and everything else just falls into place.
Yeah. And then look at where that's leading you. That's leading you, and you're about to take another leap of faith and say, okay, we're moving to LA.
Yes. Again, is that crazy again? But yeah, it's that leap of faith.
Is it crazy, or is it we're on this journey, right? This journey just happens to be called our life.
Right.
And we fill it with experiences. We fill it with these interactions, and we fill it with life. And if people get out of their own way a little bit more say like, at the end of the day, this is your story.
Yes.
And it's like when you can start to actually be the writer of your own story,
I love that. Yes.
then you have the power, and then there is no failure, there is no mistakes, there is no lost opportunities because you're taking action.
Exactly.
And you're saying, and you two have each other, right?
Right.
So you're a team, and a beautiful team that is, making things together, and you have your support.
Right.
You know?
So true.
That's very true. Yep.
So true. So what you say, like, this kind of makes me think about that step of, like, we do it, but do we actually sit back and realize, oh my God, we did that? And now talking, it's like, oh my God, we did that. And we're going to do it again. So, yeah.
And again and again and again.
Yeah.
And then another idea is going to pop in and then not. So talk to me a little bit more about when these nonprofits came into being and, seeing that, that's such a need.
Right.
Especially a lot of people, they think that, cooking in general, vegan or not, is like, I see it as like, there's a lot of either single households of single parents raising both men and women, raising their kids. And then there's the joint households where both parents are working all the time, and, dinners and that meal time or even meal prep and all of that kind of like seems like it becomes like, so we're just going to do these box things and we're going to make something really fast. And it's not nutritious. It's not, delicious. It's just what it is. And there's this misconception that eating healthy is hard or cooking at home is difficult, right?
Right.
Absolutely.
And so, I'd love to hear more about both of the nonprofits.
Well, you talk about Vegan in the Hood, and,
Okay.
she speaks directly to, being that turnkey kid and,
So Vegan in the Hood, it came about for me because I always want to give back.
Yeah.
So the easiest way, I figure, well, I cook, so why not bring cooking and a different way of life, as you said, like make it simple so that it doesn't seem so tedious to cook. And as she said, being a latchkey kid, as a child, I spent a lot of time cooking for my sister and I before my mom, working mother, single mother for some years. What she didn't mention is that the community that we served, underserved communities, food deserts, within those communities, there was a lot of violence, So for me, cooking became very therapeutic, and if we could somehow allow these young people to come in, right, in our offices. We actually had offices in Ward 7 and Ward 8 in D.C.
Wow.
The Housing Authority gifted those to us because of the vision and what we were doing within the communities. If we could just get them to come in and just to forget about all of the guns, all of the, you walking in an environment where your friends are dying, it just made all the difference. Yeah. It made all the difference. And
to create, because would they help cook too?
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, and so
all
like that creation and making something, and then there's something so rooted within our DNA of meals being the social bonding experience. Right. And then you have maybe even kids from different what would be maybe opposing sides of the street coming together and sharing a meal and creating this unity, right?
Right. And a sense of pride. Like, I created that, They bring their mothers and sometimes their fathers into the community with us, and they are so prideful of, like, I created this. This is mine. It tastes good, And so we call Velvet the transition specialist. So what she did is to help the kids transition into veganism, is she tricked them. She makes these chicken nuggets, and everyone thinks it's real chicken, but it's not. And so she'll give them that and some macaroni and cheese, giving them something that they're used to.
Familiar.
So, and that they're familiar with, so it's not so foreign.
Yeah.
And it's not so, I don't want to taste that. So they taste it and it's like, oh, okay, good. And I love that. And they call her Miss V. Miss V, can you make the chicken nuggets and mac and cheese? So she'll help them make it.
Yeah.
And so, it creates that sense of family and that unity as well.
Yeah. And that unity, that family, so important.
It's so important.
Very.
And I'm sure that you've just seen so many of their lives just turn.
Yeah. We have. We're not in that community anymore, but when we were, before we left, we had several young ladies that had dropped out of high school before we even got into the community. And they were 21, 22, over the age of which you would think that someone would graduate from high school. And when we got with them, we had 10, I think about 10 girls that year. They all went back to school and graduated. When I say it was the most beautiful experience, and we went to every graduation.
Like all 10 of them.
Yeah, they went back.
Not like 5 of the 10 or 6 of the 10, 10 for 10.
Yeah, they went. They were determined. Nothing that we did. Maybe just
it was
provide hope or something like that. But
hope, support, community, and connection.
Right.
And then you created a space where they could connect with each other, right?
They did.
And so, yeah, it might not be you entirely, but it's that creation that created that,
Yeah, and like I said, one young lady had 2 kids, and she said, I want to show my daughters that you can go back to school, and no matter what age you are, and you can get your high school diploma, and go on to do whatever else you want to do. So it was amazing.
It was worth it.
It was definitely worth it.
Wow. Are you going to be doing any of those types of nonprofit outreaches in Los Angeles?
Our goal is to do that. We've actually been talking about Vegan in the Hood. So what we want to do is partner with whomever is already doing things here. And so whatever that looks like, I don't know just yet, but I definitely would love to bring Vegan in the Hood LA here and Beautiful You, Yes You. The way I trick the girls to do and Beautiful You, like I said, the self-esteem piece, is I teach belly dancing.
Okay.
And so I was like, well, come to a belly dance party. And so we all would belly dance, and I want them to love their bodies just the way they are. And so when belly dancing, you can dance with your belly out. You don't have to, but I dance with my belly out, showing the young ladies, like, listen, I love my body, and you should love your body just the way that it is too. If you want to change some things, you can change some things, but love it the way it is right now.
Yeah.
While you're going through that change.
Yeah.
And so I would love to do something like that here as well.
Oh, that's amazing. And, talk to, I would love, like, a little bit, if you can share, a little bit about what's the concept going to be for the restaurant that you're opening in Los Angeles.
So what we can share is that same thing.
I know it's under wraps. You'll hear about it soon, I promise, and you'll hear about it in a big way.
Yes.
But until those announcements, the location and place and everything like that numbs the word.
Right.
But if we know, like, maybe the type of cuisine or the type of like that you're.
So we're going to be soul food vegan and a little bit more upscale than we do in Charlotte. So it's going to be a sit-down space. Our place in Charlotte is not. So it's going to be a sit-down location. And we just want to bring that twist of soul food into LA with, a vegan vibe as well. So it's going to be amazing.
Nice. Are you going to bring some of the most kind of desired menu items from Charlotte here?
We are, and we're actually, Charlotte is, for me, it was limiting because I wasn't able to really do a fine dining and some of the wonderful recipes that we have, which here we'll be able to really lay it out. Art, music, and food. You can't have an experience without those things.
Yeah.
So it'll be full of fantastic meals, art, decor, and wonderful music.
Oh, beautiful.
Absolutely.
And what are some of your favorite dishes from the Charlotte location that you love?
Everyone always asks me that. And it's so crazy because I don't really have a favorite. Like
I love the meatloaf.
She says, yeah, she loves the meatloaf. But
yeah, it changes all the time for me though. So right now it's meatloaf. Maybe because I want meatloaf, but right now it's meatloaf.
And it kind of depends on what that tastes like. I love our ribs. We do a wonderful rib, and that's one of my favorites. And in fact, my love of barbecue is what led to the creation of this rib. So.
Oh man. And a little bit more on, why veganism is so important.
Well, I think for us, and for me, it's a little bit different than everyone else. I love animals, and and I definitely fight for the animals. But for me, it was more so for my health and what worked better for my body. I was like, just like Velvet, I didn't like meat as a child, but I didn't know what to call that. You know, I didn't like meat, and eating dairy made me have a lot of like mucus, and I didn't know what that meant either until I met this very wise man. I call him my godfather. He just started teaching me about, you know, eating vegan food. But that was like a cuss word. It's like, what's vegan? So it's like, so he had to kind of just let me taste things. and so for me, it was more so my health and, you know.
You were like those kids. That
right, exactly.
You had to be tricked with the
I had to be tricked. What? Vegan.
You're like, okay, these are chicken nuggets. Okay, I can do the next step now.
Exactly. So it's for me, it's like, you know, what made my body feel better. You know, I couldn't have the dairy. I couldn't have the milk. Not that I was lactose. It was just like, I just didn't like it. And I felt like, okay, if I eat this, I'm always coughing or sneezing. Then I realized that when I take it away from my diet, I'm not doing those things. Okay. So for me, it was more so for what my body needed.
Yeah, but about 8 years ago or so, you decided to become fully vegan.
Fully vegan.
And so was there, like, what was that shift for you? I mean, was it, because, you know, that's a pretty hardcore shift, right?
For me, first I was vegetarian.
Okay.
And then because sour cream was so hard for me to get rid of. I know it sounds weird, but I love sour cream. But that was the only thing that was hard for me to get rid of. And then I said, well, you know, I'm just going to jump all in. So I did a juice fast first.
Okay.
First a water fast for 20 days, and I transitioned to a juice fast, and then kind of cleansed my palate, and then went into...
Wait, just water for 20 days?
Just water for 20 days.
Oh my God.
Determined. That's her nickname.
Did you put like lemon in it, cayenne pepper?
I did, but that's a good idea. So I wanted to clean, and I did a lot of meditating at the time. Okay. And it was really, for me, it was a healing process because as a child I was molested and I had a lot of things going on, and I had to realize that's a reason I had to put on a lot of my weight at the time, because I was eating my way to trying to be healthy and happy, I mean. And so I did a juice fast, a water fast and juice fast, and kind of meditating and kind of getting back to my center, my peace, my love for myself. And then that just transitioned into being vegan. Wow. So it was like a whole journey for me.
And anything you miss besides sour cream?
I don't even miss sour cream, because there's a brand that makes the most amazing sour cream. And then I make my own with cashew nuts, but there's nothing that I really miss. No, Velvet will create it. Like if I say, oh, I want such and such, she'll say, okay, and she'll create it. So.
Oh, and what about for you, Velvet? I know 20 years ago, and your sisters kind of cut you off before, but your sister was teaching you about it, and then to make that cut to being fully vegan.
For me, like I said, it was the difficult part, I guess, would have been at first the ice cream, because I loved ice cream and I loved cheese. But once I, kept studying, see, for me, once I know truth, like if I see it, then it's hard for me to go back to doing it the same way. So she started showing me all these videos, and I'm looking at these videos and I'm like, wow. And so once I saw some things in the videos, it made me like, okay, well, I don't want any cheese. I don't want any milk products, no dairy. And I think for me that, other than that, my transition was pretty easy.
Yeah, because I mean, you both weren't big meat eaters. Or
no,
likers,
I never.
And and when you're teaching veganism to different communities through your food, through the nonprofits and stuff like that, what are some of those elements of that you were seeing with the truth, or for you it was the body reactions, but it was also it's healthier, right?
Absolutely,
right.
And so are there some aspects of what you help other people see about why spreading veganism and spreading good tasting good food, right, that people can enjoy in the same way that they can enjoy other restaurants, right? And say, okay, but this doesn't have to have all these animal products in it.
Right.
So, what are some of those things that really stand out to you, or those tidbits of wisdom for those people that maybe are listening or on the fence and are wondering, could I really go vegan,
Go ahead. I won't cut you off.
So for me, I think it's that's where Vegan in the Hood comes in, because I have the opportunity to say, hey, eat this, try this, taste this. And it's like she says, being a transition specialist. So I'm teaching them, like, it's like you have a blank canvas, right? Mm-hmm. And then you take and you pick your palette, your spices, right? And then you just, you put them on there. You play with it. So it's not so much the plant or the meat, but it's learning how to use your spices to get your taste buds. And in fact, it's so deep when you have a clean palate that you can literally put seasonings together that will trigger in your mind a taste, whatever you're thinking, whatever you want, your mind like holds on to that. So that's why some people, even if you've been vegan a long time, like some things I may eat and I'm like, wow, it takes me back to really eating meat. Because it's so close, whether it's the texture, whether it's the seasonings, but it's something, the aroma, it's something that triggers. And so those are the things that I try to encourage people with, their spices and their textures, because that's the only way, really, the best way to transition, to understand.
Textures and spices and different, and food is so fun to play with.
It's so fun.
Just have fun. Just like you said, have fun with it. Don't be afraid to mess up. Just don't put too much salt in it. Because Velvet always says you can put more in, but you can't take it out. So just like put it in a little bit at a time.
Yeah.
So.
And over the years, what are besides you have your vegan soul food and some of your favorite vegan dishes that you've created or like the things that you like to put together? Because I heard that you love the meatloaf that is done at the restaurant, but it's an open platform for anything.
Mushroom stroganoff.
Oh yeah, I love the mushroom stroganoff. And then I love when Velvet and her sister get in the kitchen together. It's like magic. It's like you hear,
Is your sister also a chef?
She's a yogi, and she's the reason I'm vegan. But she's a fantastic chef. She swears that her husband is the chef.
He's good too.
Yeah, they're like dynamite in the kitchen. Yeah. Like
they're
really.
So meticulous. The only thing I hate is that they take forever sometimes.
Right.
They're perfectionists. So it's like, no, it's not right. Don't taste it yet. I'm like, listen, I've been waiting for 2 hours. Taste this.
I'm gonna taste something right now because
right. But it's just I don't know. I don't have. The Parmesan, eggplant Parmesan that they make. That's so good. But it's just so many things. Like for different days, I have a different taste. So
we even have created I almost kind of intentional, but accidentally created like this pork chop.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
So
how is this done? Accidentally sort of created this pork chop.
I was playing around. Yeah, I was playing around, and I was doing something else.
And what are you making it out of? Like,
that particular item, that's made out of wheat gluten. That particular thing. Okay. So we use wheat gluten on that.
Okay, and so you're making this pork chop, and so how does this
like? You're actually making something else. And then,
so how does this accidentally happen? And then
we tasted it. Like she and some of our staff members were tasting it. It was like, oh my God, it tastes like a pork chop, and it looked like a pork chop even in the inside. I was like, that's what it is, a pork chop. So now we have a pork chop.
What were you trying to create?
What was I doing? I was actually working. I was trying to do I think I was trying to do like a roast or something, some kind of roast. I'm trying to think what was I doing? Probably, I think I was doing a roast.
Okay.
And it just went the other way once I started doing the spices. So I was like, well, let's go with it.
Yeah,
it was organic.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was organic. It was good.
It's just trust and listen in for the seasonings, right?
Yes.
And the seasonings and spices, do you like to use like fresh herbs or dried ones, combination of both?
Combination. I can't wait, actually. I've been telling my wife, the thing I'm most excited about in LA is the freshness of vegetables, fruits, and spices. Because where we are, it's like, it's not in season, but we're bringing it from California. Yeah. You know what I mean? So,
well, you're gonna love it. Did you get a chance while you've been on this trip to go to any of the farmers markets?
No, that's our next stop. Like after our last meeting, we're going to the farmers market probably tomorrow because I just hear so much about it's a big farmers market. I guess it's historic or something.
Yeah, well, we have one right outside here. It's
really?
The biggest one in Southern California, right outside the doors. It goes Selma Ave here, Cosmo, and then all of Five Bar.
Every day? Or?
No, just on Sundays.
Oh, okay.
So I think you're leaving Sunday, right?
But we don't know. I have to push it to Monday now.
You're just going with it. You might have to push it just
Exactly.
Oh,
So I
my
go to the
goodness.
farmer's market.
Oh my goodness, that's great to know though.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the beautiful farmers markets. The beautiful thing about LA is that they're on any given day you can look up and you can find a farmers market for the most part. You know,
Yes.
at night markets and day markets, right? You know,
Beautiful.
and more than night markets end up closer to like 8, like a 4 to 8 or something like that. But you have them all over.
That's
At your
beautiful.
disposal. Yeah, I love that.
That's my favorite thing.
Yeah.
Is I always I have my staple things that I get from the farmers market, but then I just like look around and then I get inspired and I'm like,
Yes.
oh, what is this thing? I was like, I never even know what this is. It's some like weird like porcupine looking thing, and they're like, oh, that's like this whatever it is, and I'm like, I need it. I don't know what it is,
But I need it.
I'm like an amateur chef, but I try, I'm like, all right, well, what do I do with this?
That's fun. That is fun.
And that's what's fun about it.
Yeah, and that's the part that keeps you laughing, it keeps you young, it keeps you feeling like a child.
Yeah, the childlike wonder, like in creating being able to create every meal and being able to create and laugh together, enjoy and to nourish yourself, right? And it's like there's so much amazing beauty in that's infinite possibilities, right? You take the same dish and make it 10 different ways, or the same vegetable, right?
Absolutely.
And yeah.
And see, and you just said it, soul food. Soul food is that, for me, it was growing up, it was the family reunions, it was my grandmother, my great-grandmother in the kitchen, it was everyone's face when the pie came out the oven, and you know what I mean? You took the bite.
It's your soul.
It's just, that's it.
Feed your soul.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
Oh, beautiful. And you're feeding youth souls, you're feeding single parent souls, you're feeding the souls of people that are coming into the restaurants and many more. Where do you see your vision going?
Wow. Chef Velvet. I don't know. We have crazy and wild dreams.
Well, let's speak them into existence,
And I know that we want to be in at least 5, major markets.
Okay.
With Veltree and products in the stores as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You agree? I agree. Here.
So we just can't wait. We know it's coming, and then the abundance, the overflow. Even being here the last week, the one meeting leads into another meeting, like unplanned, but we're just because we're open for it. We're open to the possibilities here while we're here, and we're it's just been the abundance and the overflow. So we're so excited.
Beautiful.
And we love creating jobs and opportunities
for others.
Like we had some of our staff, like the things we celebrate. One of our staff members came to us and she was like, I just want to say thank you to you guys for giving me a chance, because you gave me a chance. She's like, now I was able to buy a car. I was able to relocate and move into a better neighborhood. Those are the things that, that's why I do what I do. At the end of the day, that's it. My heart is just for people and for the community.
Well, clearly it's overflowing, the amount of things that you both shared that you're already doing or have done, and I just see that continuously growing, and the impact and the ripple effect of that impact, you know, because then this one employee, now she's happier, she's living in another part of town, now she's also sharing that happiness and passing that forward. And you literally can change individuals and then communities and then the planet.
I believe it. I believe it. Yep.
And it all starts with the empowerment and people loving themselves, right? Because I have never seen somebody that truly loves herself be mean to another person, right?
So true.
The hate comes from, the mean girl syndrome, the people that have the low self-esteem or picking on everybody, and but when they can start having that and feeling good and then nourishing their soul too, and nourishing their body and not having the same reactions or flare-ups or these problems or discomfort. Well,
You're right. So true.
And How do you handle doing business together as a couple?
I mean, it's clear. She's the boss. Happy wife, happy life.
Happy wife, happy life.
The boss. That's how we handle it.
No objections.
You know what though? I mean, there's some truth there. There's always there's that dynamic, and if one person wants to be more the leader, and the other person wants to allow that person to take that role,
right.
But then I think that you say that, but there's an equal balance.
There is definitely
because
equal balance.
You're the creator, and you're the Without you, the
no
restaurant,
there's just a tree. There's no Veltree.
It'd just be a tree.
Right, just be a tree.
But she's definitely, like the business part, she's definitely great at it. When we got together, when I separated from my family to start my own thing, I did more heart than mind. So I was doing all this stuff for people and half pricing and just all of this stuff, donations, and still had bills and things to take care of. So
and you're like, wait, I just donated all of my profits and now I can't pay my rent.
Right.
And so she comes, and I say this whenever we're talking about entrepreneurship or ideas that you may have, a partner, a business, whatever it is in your life, you have to have someone definitely that's going to come. My wife has a background of finance that comes along beside you, because she made me profitable.
Yeah.
She was the missing link to making me profitable. So that's why I say, the business, that without her, I mean, hey,
without each other,
without each other,
you're each other's missing link.
Yes.
Right.
We are definitely.
You give her a profitable product to
Exactly.
Thank you.
Have something to work with here.
Thank you so much.
You're right.
This is true.
That's
This is true. Yes.
Oh, that's so beautiful. And you can tell that you're in sync and harmony. I see so many couples try to do business together and it fails so badly.
Yeah.
Yes. But not only it is truly that link, and you're doing what you love, and you're filling your soul, and you're helping other people fill their soul, and so your cup is constantly overflowing.
Wow.
Yes.
Yes.
What else would you like to share?
You can tell everybody how much you love me.
that too. No, I think we covered everything. I think I'm so excited to be here and to see what's going to happen next.
Yes, and we would like to say that we're super excited about Nick Cannon partnering with us, bringing soul food.
We didn't even talk about that. You were talking about he went to your restaurant. So let's share that.
Okay. I didn't know we were talking about that.
That's a kind of a big thing. Okay, so Nick Cannon walks into your restaurant. And
he's such, I mean, and I'm not just saying this. When he came, he didn't just buy one thing, and I do mean buy. He came in and bought 2 of everything, and at our cafe, we also have a lounge, a door over, and he, went into the lounge and he was eating everything. He stayed there for probably an hour and a half because
did he eat everything?
And he was eating. And took some stuff with him. Yes, he was. He was just,
boy can eat.
Yes, he can. But he enjoyed it, and he said that he hadn't had fried chicken or anything like fried chicken since he went vegan.
Wow.
Yeah, so it was he was just so wow, this is what's
It was
up.
bringing back his because also, you touched on the taste will bring back those, but it also brings back the emotions, the memories, the experiences, those times when, you were saying that the pie's coming out of the oven and you're thinking back to that memory, right? So it's those warming senses of good meals and family or people and individuals in your life that sometimes we don't think about all the time because we're busy,
right?
And it's making us touch our heart again. We're it's kind of like music does, You
Yes.
listen to some old playlists and you're like, taken back.
Yeah.
I remember this. This happened
Yes.
this summer, and and your heart starts smiling, right?
Absolutely.
You know.
Right.
So he's eating all the stuff, and then he comes and needs to talk to you too, right? You know, and say, okay, this fried chicken is amazing.
Yeah, and I mean, after that, this wasn't, the restaurant hadn't even come about, anything with the restaurant. He actually asked us to come to Atlanta and throw down at the Wild 'N Out studio in Atlanta. So we did. We went down there.
For 2 days, us with our staff as well. And he loved the food then. His staff loved the food. And the rest is kind of history.
Well, we don't know what the rest is.
I know, we can't. We're not telling yet what the rest is.
So then, how did you end up? Then he said, "I want a business partner with you," or
no, not exactly. We kind of reached out to him and said, "Listen, let's do this in LA."
Yeah.
And
He
so
was
we're
like,
doing
"Let's do
something
it."
in LA.
Yeah, he's like, let's do it. Let's do it.
You keep talking about it. I'm trying to bring it back.
What, babe?
I know.
Yeah.
No,
Everyone knows we do.
No, I just want I want people to know that
doing the
part.
restaurant.
Yeah, we don't need to tell the place or
So
anything like that.
we reached out to him. He was like, "Let's do it," and so we're doing.
So you're
stuff.
here and
We're here and
making
we're doing
everything
it.
final, and so now
Yes.
everything can move forward in a very positive way.
Yeah,
Yes.
definitely. We're so super excited.
Now, is there any anticipation on like a time frame or season of when your restaurant would open in Los Angeles?
We're thinking by the end of the year.
By the end of the year. Okay,
Yeah.
so really quick.
Yeah, tomorrow. Seems like the end of the year is gonna be here tomorrow.
Yeah, I mean, it's the way time flies. I mean,
Right.
like I can't even like fathom that we're over half the year over
Can't you
already.
believe
I'm
it?
like,
It's ridiculous.
where did it go?
Where did it go?
I'm still back in 2017.
Right. Trying to
I'm
catch up.
16 trying to catch up.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Yeah.
I'm so excited
Thank
for
you.
so much. And I think you're going to hit your 5 major markets and beyond that.
Thank you.
And
Thank
I
you
think
so
that it's
much.
going to continue to ripple in even a bigger way than you can even imagine.
Thank you.
Thank you so
we
very
received
much.
that. Thank
Yeah.
you. Thank you for having us on. We
Definitely thank you for having
appreciate
us
you
on.
sharing your time, your energy, and your space with us. So.
Yeah, and thank you
you. And your
everybody.
puppies.
Yes. And thank you everybody for joining. And when it's time, and after this podcast has been up for a little bit, we will update it at the end so you can know where the restaurant is, where to find
Absolutely.
it, and everything like that.
Come
But
check us out.
yeah, Veltree, and you can check out if you're ever in Charlotte, go get some good vegan soul food.
Yes, come on. And we always say, "Hey, cousin." So when you walk in, you feel like you're at your auntie's house. So when you walk in, we say, "Hey, cousin," because again, it says soul food. It's that family. So your family when you come into Veltree, you're a cousin.
Love it. Thank you. It's been
Thank
such
you.
a pleasure.
Thank you for
so
having
much.
us. Thank you.
If you enjoyed this conversation, like it, subscribe, and share it with your friends. If you want some more amazing resources on your path of liberation, head over to liberateyourself.com and sign up for our mailing list. Connect with us on Facebook, Instagram at Liberate Hollywood, all one word, or Liberate Emporium, all one word. Until next time, liberate yourself.